There's a question I believe every woman who has ever loved deeply has asked herself at least once. How do you know when a man still loves you, or if someone else has already taken your place in his heart? This question doesn't come from insecurity. It comes from intuition, a quiet, persistent voice that grows louder when love starts to drift off its original course. I'm not writing this to make you suspicious or paranoid. I'm writing it as a form of liberation for women lost in the soft glow of a love that feels fine, but it's actually fading. I was once there too. I thought I was loved, but in reality, I was just being kept around, just in case. If you're still reading this, maybe a part of you feels what I once felt. Something is off. And here are 5 unmistakable signs I saw, not from books, but from real life. From every tear, every silent night, every moment I realized love was slipping through my fingers. Sign number 1. Unusual kindness that feels wrong. It started with flowers. Out of nowhere, no occasion, no anniversary, just a bouquet and a strange smile. He kissed my forehead, said nothing more. That wasn't like him. He was never the romantic type. He showed love through actions, not gestures, but suddenly, he was making breakfast, folding laundry, asking if I was tired, looking at me like I might disappear any second. At first, I thought it was sweet. Then I started feeling uneasy. You see, when a man loves you, kindness is habit, but when he's guilty, kindness becomes a mask. His hugs didn't feel like comfort anymore. They felt like apologies he couldn't say. Not because I was upset, but because he had done something wrong. I stopped feeling cared for. I started feeling managed. I began to notice how every thoughtful gesture had an odd weight to it. Like he was trying to prove something, maybe not to me, but to himself. It wasn't about love anymore. It was about redemption, the kind you don't ask for but give out of guilt. And the worst part, I missed the man who used to show up empty-handed, but honest. Sign number 2. He starts needing space. All the time he became busy. Work meetings, gym sessions, time alone. I respected that. We all need space, but his space turned into a pattern, an escape route. Texts got slower, calls ended faster. His schedule became a mystery. One night I called during a meeting, but the guy he claimed to be meeting was posted an Instagram story, home with his wife. When I asked, he got defensive. You don't trust me? And that's when I learned. The ones who lie often make you feel guilty for asking questions. His absence wasn't quiet, it was loud, deafening, like I was screaming in a room he had already left. A man who loves you will find ways to stay close. A man who loves someone else will create distance, and make sure you blame yourself for it. His weekends became vague, his phone always on silent. The same man who once texted me just to say, I miss you, now seemed bothered by a simple, where are you? Love doesn't vanish all at once. It stretches thin, day by day, until you no longer show what you're holding on to. Sign number 3. His look, his smell, his body. Something's different one morning. He wore cologne, not just any scent, a different one. Not the one I bought him, not one he's ever liked. When I asked, he said, must have picked the wrong bottle. No man picks the wrong cologne. Men wear scents for someone. And that someone, increasingly, wasn't me. He was working out more, shaving daily, buying new shirts, fixing his hair like we were dating for the first time, but not going anywhere with me. His body started saying what his mouth wouldn't. Infidelity doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers, in new colognes, sharper jawlines, and fresh button-downs that never open for you anymore. The hardest part, a man who changes for you wants you to notice. A man who changes for someone else prays you never do. I saw him adjusting his shirt in the mirror like he was being watched. Just not by me. His silence became scented, his distance, dressed, and I realized I no longer knew the man brushing his hair beside me every morning. Sign number 4. He stopped making future plans. I once said, let's go to the mountains for the holiday. He dodged. I may be busy. I brought up marriage. He smiled. Why rush? Let's just chill. After 4 years of love, that's when I knew he stopped seeing me in his future. A man in love plans. He visualizes, hopes, builds. A man falling out of love stalls. deflects, buys time, and while you was busy avoiding the next step, I realized I needed to take mine alone. Nothing hurts more than scheduling your life around someone who's slowly erasing you from his. He wasn't afraid of commitment, he was afraid of committing to the wrong person. And slowly, I began to understand. I wasn't the wrong person, I was just no longer his person. Sign number 5. He gets defensive over the smallest things. I once asked why he didn't text me back. Just asked, no anger. He snapped, why are you trying to control me? And there it was. When a man has something to hide, even your most innocent questions sound like an interrogation. He doesn't get angry because you're wrong. He gets angry because you're close. Guilt turns into fury, distance turns into blame. I used to give him space, but that space wasn't used to breathe. It was used to hide, to disappear, to lie. His anger wasn't about love, it was about fear. Fear that I was starting to see too clearly. He fought to protect the lie more than he ever fought to protect me. And sometimes, silence would have been easier than hearing, you're being too much, when all I wanted was a simple answer. Not even the truth, just effort. You might wonder, could all of this just be coincidence? Sure, but philosopher Schopenhauer once said, truth often hides in repetition. When you start feeling like a stranger in your own relationship, when your gut tightens without explanation, that's not weakness. That's your subconscious trying to protect you. And for me, the breaking point didn't come from a fight. It came from silence. A silence so loud I couldn't breathe anymore. I didn't walk away because I stopped loving him. I walked away because I finally started loving myself more. Sometimes, women have to love themselves the way they once loved him, unconditionally. Patiently, with grace. If you've read this far, maybe your heart's whispering to you, too. Maybe it's time to listen. No one is worth losing yourself over, not even the man you once gave your whole heart to. Real love never makes you doubt your worth. It helps you see your light. So if something inside you is urging you to question, don't silence it. Truth always begins with a whisper, and true happiness always begins with one brave step forward.